in the headlines of this hour on VTV News. Socio-economic situation under scrutiny at the National Assembly's 7th session. And Vietnam improves conditions for green industry projects. And in our world news, we'll see how FAO preparatory measures fend against El Nino.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. On Monday morning, before the opening of the 7th session of the 15th National Assembly, the National Assembly deputies laid wreaths and paid respects at the mausoleum of President Ho Chi Minh. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, General Lương Cường, standing member of the Secretariat, Director of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, Deputy Chair of the National Assembly Trần Thanh Mẫn, Acting State President Võ Thị Ánh Xuân, President of the Central Committee of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Đỗ Văn Chiến, and other National Assembly deputies attended the event. They expressed their boundless gratitude and a reverence for President Ho Chi Minh's immense contributions to the struggle for national liberation, the unification of the country, and the building of a peaceful, independent, and unified Socialist Republic of Vietnam. The 15th National Assembly convened its 7th sitting in Hanoi on May 20th morning, with the opening session broadcast live by several national and National Assembly television and radio channels.
Legislators are set to review and pass 10 bills, including draft amended legislation on social insurance, archives, and the organization of the People's Courts, as well as the laws relating to the defense industry, security, industrial mobilization, and roads. Also tabled will be 3 draft resolutions on piloting specific mechanisms and policies to develop the central province of Nghệ An and piloting a new model of urban administration and specific mechanisms and policies for the central city of Da Nang. In addition, there are proposals to revise the 2025 Law and Ordinance Building Program and adjust the 2024 program. The lawmakers will provide feedback on 11 bills, including amended draft laws on notarization, trade unions, and cultural heritage, as well as on geology and minerals, fire prevention, firefighting, and rescue. They will discuss issues regarding socio-economic development, the state budget, taxation, and the National Assembly's supervision work. They will consider investment policies for several major projects, among many other matters. The National Assembly will conduct question and answer sessions and review and decide personnel matters within its remit.
At the opening ceremony of the 15th National Assembly 7th session, Deputy Prime Minister Lê Minh Khái presented a report evaluating the results of last year's Socio-Economic Development Plan and Socio-Economic Development Plan during the early months of 2024. The report indicates many positive changes in the socio-economic situation. GDP growth in the first quarter reached 5.66%, the highest in a 2020 and to 2023 period. State budget revenue reached over 43.1% of the estimate in 4 months, up 10.1%. Export turnover increased by 15%. Public investment disbursement reached 17.46% of the projection, the highest rate in the last 4 years. Many large corporations have also committed to investing in Vietnam in sectors such as electronics, chips, semiconductors, and renewable energy. The government will focus on 11 groups of tasks and solutions in the coming time. The priority is still to promote growth associated with macroeconomic stability, control inflation, and ensure major economic balances. In addition, the government aims to renew traditional growth drivers and promote new ones, as well as the development of the digital, green, circular sharing economy and emerging industries and sectors. Comprehensive and synchronous development of culture and new wage policies will also be prioritized.
lành mạnh, đầm ấm. Mọi nhà đều có điều kiện vui xuân đón Tết, chi trả chế độ.
Statistics from many international chambers of commerce in Vietnam show that in 2023, foreign investment in a sustainable growth will increase by an average of 10 to 13% per year. This is an opportunity for Vietnam to affirm its green commitments and also serves as a turning point for the country to attract high-quality investment. However, pressures on green transition policies are also significant. More in the following.
Solar panels cover the entire roof of this factory, which uses emission reduction technologies. This factory meets all the sustainable standards set by this Japanese enterprise. It ensures the green credentials of the production processes and product technology.
We set a goal of reducing carbon emissions to zero by 2030. The entire solar power system accounts for about 40% of the factory's electricity consumption. We are cooperating with the industrial park to expand solar power production.
Environmental monitoring, project screening, and minimizing polluting industries in industrial zones and clusters are policies that help Hung Yen Province be among the leading localities in the Green Index 2023.
We also encourage businesses to comply with environmental management and monitoring requirements. Wastewater is monitored 24/7, and data is regularly transferred to the Department of Natural Resources and Environment.
However, not all localities can gather resources and have mechanisms for green industry development. The 2023 PGI Green Index indicates that the most important new environmental and green growth policies are centralized.
One of the reasons that AmCham is such a big supporter of the PCI and now the PGI is we think it's so important that local leaders recognize the different types of inputs it takes to become attractive. We just saw Quang Ninh Province win for come out on top for the 7th year in a row.
The transition towards a green and circular economy in industrial parks is occurring. With clearer and more consistent guidelines on green criteria, the country will retain the opportunity to attract high-quality investment projects and its advantages in the global supply chain.
Textile and garment export turnover in the first 4 months of the year increased by 6.3% year-on-year, according to the Ministry of Industry and Trade. Enterprises have secured sufficient export orders to last until the end of the third quarter and are negotiating additional orders for the fourth quarter. With this momentum, achieving the full-year textile and garment export target of approximately $44 billion looks feasible.
Tensions in the Red Sea have disrupted the transportation of goods and raw materials. Due to heightened market demand, this business has secured orders until the end of October by closely monitoring market trends and swiftly adapting its production processes.
Australia remains a stable market, while the European and American markets continue to show the most significant growth. We have enhanced production efficiency by adopting technology and equipment to boost productivity and reduce costs.
Meanwhile, this business has received numerous orders from the Middle East and ASEAN regions.
We conduct trade promotion activities online and face-to-face, resulting in a growing customer base from Malaysia, Cambodia, and Singapore. Our entire workforce has been working overtime to meet demand.
According to the Ho Chi Minh City Textile and Garment Embroidery Association, business orders in the second quarter surged by 15 to 20% year-over-year. Most businesses have already ensured compliance with each market's delivery schedules, product codes, and quality requirements.
Vietnamese products enjoy high customer satisfaction, prompting businesses to streamline production processes. Previously, production and delivery timelines averaged 70 to 90 days. Now, they've been reduced to 45 or even 30 days.
According to the Vietnam Textile and Apparel Association, another significant signal is the influx of retail corporations from Vietnam's free trade agreement partners exploring supply chains in Vietnam offering competitive prices.
Our strategy focuses on diversifying markets, products, and customers. In 2023, we exported to 104 markets. This year, we anticipate this number to rise to 110 markets.
The Vietnam Textile and Apparel Association also emphasized that businesses are actively pursuing green and digital transformation initiatives alongside efforts to enhance product quality. These measures are crucial for the textile industry to attain its growth objectives.
Vietnam's agricultural sector is clearing market pathways and boosting trade promotion. These are key solutions to reach the goal of $55 billion in exports this year. Agricultural exports have surged strongly during the early months of the year, with many key products recording over $1 billion in value. The total export value grew by more than 32% compared to last year. Many agricultural products, such as coffee, cocoa, and durian, have seen significant price boosts. This is thanks to rising global market demand and improved quality that meets the requirements of various markets. The US, China, and Japan remain the three largest import markets for Vietnamese agricultural products. During the first quarter of this year, Vietnam exported nearly 46,000 tons of rice to the EU market. This generated a turnover of more than $41 million, double the same period last year. Notably, the French market saw a sharp increase with 18,200 tons, nearly 180 times higher than the same period last year. According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, this achievement is attributed to businesses leveraging opportunities from the EVFTA. Vietnam has a significant competitive advantage in the EU markets compared to other rice exporting countries like India and Thailand due to the EVFTA agreement. Currently, the total rice import demand of the EU is about 3 to 4 million tons. Thus, there is still significant potential for Vietnamese rice exports to the EU. In addition to products derived from coconut trees, another potential value that has yet to receive much attention is the sale of carbon credits. Amid sustainable development and emission reduction goals, the carbon credit market has become an attractive opportunity for the agricultural industry, particularly in coconut farming areas like Banh.
According to this business, an average hectare of coconut trees can store 25 to 75 tons of CO2. Therefore, in addition to harvesting fruit and nectar, tens of thousands of coconut trees are expected to generate significant revenue from selling carbon credits.
Carbon credits are vital for our business's future, enabling us to export to discerning markets like Europe.
Vietnam ranks 7th globally in coconut production, with an area of approximately 188,000 hectares.
We will host a workshop on developing coconut value chains associated with the circular economy at our upcoming investment promotion conference.
According to experts, adopting new farming methods or investing in innovative technologies is essential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and qualify for carbon credits. Ngang has implemented such strategies by maintaining a production journal, coding each tree, and avoiding chemical fertilizers. As a result, his coconut products are certified organic and environmentally friendly with low emissions.
The market price for 10 coconuts is $1, but the company purchases them at $2.
We collaborate with growers to develop green and organic raw material areas.
It is crucial to promptly finalize the legal framework and establish specific technical standards for selling carbon credits. This will not only aid in offsetting greenhouse gas emissions, but also boost growers' income.
Now, before we move on to other important updates, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rates of today, May 20th. Coming up next on VTV News. Salary remains obstacle to social housing access. And Banh Festival leaves visitors in awe. Now moving on to other important news, workers who leave their hometowns to work in industrial zones desire a stable career and own a house. However, accessing a social housing is not easy for them. This is due to a lack of policies and regulations, especially regarding income conditions for buying a social housing.
Nai and her husband work in an industrial park, each earning an average monthly salary of about $354. With overtime pay included, each earns about $471 per month. Apart from rent, money sent home to support their 2 children and living expenses, they only manage to save a small amount each month. They are uncertain about when their rental situation will improve.
The room we rent is small. We wish to have our children stay with us during the summer, but the space is too cramped for all of us.
Millions of other workers in industrial zones also encounter similar challenges. With incomes of around $471 per month, it's difficult for them to be eligible for social housing, per the criteria set by personal income tax regulations. According to a survey conducted by the Vietnam General Confederation of Labor, 60% of workers rent houses built by private individuals. The monthly rent ranges from about $59 to $157, comprising 25% to 30% of their income.
Their salary isn't sufficient to afford a standard house, yet is also insufficient for them to qualify to purchase social housing.
I believe agencies responsible for drafting laws and circulars should eliminate salary conditions. This change would enable more workers to fulfill their housing needs.
Revising regulations related to the criteria for purchasing social housing is necessary to encourage workers to stay and work long-term in industrial zones.
Cần Thơ City celebrated the 134th birthday of President Ho Chi Minh by inaugurating the Tây Đô and Cờ Đỏ bridges in the districts of Phong Điền and Cờ Đỏ. These new bridges aim to improve travel and trade for residents.
For many years, residents of Cờ Đỏ district, including Phạm Văn Me and his wife, have experienced traffic jams and accidents on the old narrow bridge. They are delighted that the state invested nearly $6.5 million to build a new bridge. Much to the joy of the locals, the bridges now make travel and trade much easier.
I'm so happy right now. The old bridge was too narrow for the traffic it had to carry, and I like it better now.
Merchants can now enjoy smooth transport links. Commuting is much more convenient than it was years ago.
Tây Đô Bridge in Phong Điền district, located more than 30 kilometers away, cost nearly $9.9 million. The bridge spans around 700 meters with a 4-lane section. Its design includes a steel arch structure, cable stays, and an artistic lighting system.
I'm very pleased with the new infrastructure. Commuting is easier, and traffic jams are no longer as frequent.
Local residents have long anticipated these 2 bridges. Their completion enhances Cần Thơ City's transportation network and opens up opportunities for the tourism, trade, and service industries to thrive in the near future.
A special art program entitled Trường Sơn Bare Feet Still Spirit took place at the Trường Sơn Martyrs Cemetery in Quảng Trị Province on Sunday evening. The event marked the 65th anniversary of the opening of the Ho Chi Minh Trail and the traditional Day of the Trường Sơn Soldiers. General Phan Van Giang, a member of the Politburo and Minister of National Defense, along with other leaders, former leaders, heroic Vietnamese mothers, heroes of the armed forces, war veterans, and former soldiers attended the event. Artistic performances combined with archival images and interactive segments recreated the nation's glorious milestones and heroic history during the resistance war against the U.S. The program highlighted the resilient and unshakable spirit of Vietnam's military and people who endured over 16 years of brutal war. The The event also honored the immense sacrifices and losses along the Chungsun route. The special art project From Lotus Village to Ho Chi Minh City took place on Sunday night at the Lotus Village, Kim Liên Commune, Nam Dan District in Nghệ An Province. The program commemorated the 134th anniversary of President Ho Chi Minh's birthday, May 19, 1890 to May 19, 2024. Images, memorabilia, and songs about Uncle Ho were showcased in the culturally rich setting of Lotus Village. They brought the audience back to the historic years of the nation. This evoked deep respect and boundless gratitude for President Ho Chi Minh, who dedicated his entire life to the struggle for national liberation, independence, freedom for the country, and the prosperity and happiness of the people. At the 2024 Banh Mi Festival, held over 2 weekends, a remarkable record was set with 150 dishes served with bánh mì. Dishes that evoked Vietnamese nostalgia, such as bánh mì dipped in condensed milk, and other diverse combinations provided unexpected and delightful culinary experiences. The festival has successfully and impressively celebrated bánh mì, a national favorite.
This year's festival featured over 130 stalls, drawing a large crowd eager to sample the delicious offerings. At the Tri Hood Street corner, locals and tourists enjoyed creative ideas dedicated to bánh mì. Many visitors recalled their childhood favorite treat, a combination of condensed milk bánh mì and ice cream sandwiches.
Banh mi dipped in condensed milk, especially with strawberry and chocolate flavors, was particularly delicious. It was such a delightful, nostalgic treat.
International tourists admired the creative combinations of bánh mì with a wide range of sweet and savory side dishes, showcasing the unique flavors of Vietnamese cuisine.
Banh mi is most delicious. I love it. So anywhere there's banh mi, I'll be there. So I love banh mi sandwich. So they have a banh mi festival, I'll be here. I want to try all the different banh mis from the different parts of Vietnam.
We hope to promote bánh mì through the festival. We will innovate its theme each year to enhance its global reputation.
According to the renowned culinary website Taste Atlas, Vietnamese bánh mì recently topped the list of the world's 100 best sandwiches. While bánh mì did not originate in Vietnam, its combination with various side dishes and Vietnamese creativity has built a unique reputation in global cuisine.
Coming up next in our world news. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi killed in helicopter clash. An impact of FAO preparatory measures against El Nino. Now moving on to our world news. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and others were found dead in a helicopter crash on Sunday, according to state media. Rescue teams battled through heavy fog overnight to reach the crash site in the northwest mountainous region near the Azerbaijan border. The wreckage of the helicopter carrying the Iranian president and Foreign Minister Hossein Amirabdollahian was found early on Monday. Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei had earlier sought to reassure Iranians, saying there would be no disruption to state affairs. In light of the incident, the Turkish Disaster and Emergency Management Authority said a team of 23 mountaineers and 6 vehicles have been sent to Iran to help with the rescue operation. The European Union also offered emergency satellite mapping technology to aid the efforts.
Into it and let the foxes eat.
The Chinese Central Commission for Discipline Inspection and a National Supervisory Commission announced on Saturday that Agriculture Minister Tang Renjian is under investigation for suspected serious violations of discipline and law. Tang formerly served as governor of China's western Gansu province from 2017 to 2020 before assuming his current post in 2020. since Chinese President Xi Jinping was inaugurated for his third term at the party convention in 2022. 2 cabinet ministers have been dismissed: Foreign Minister Qin Jiang and Defense Minister Li Shangfu. However, since their dismissal, no official announcements have been made on the investigation or reasons for dismissal. Declared in July 2023 and projected to last until mid-2024, the current El Nino event is one of the 5 strongest on record. Its climate extremes have affected 40 to 50 million people worldwide. Using modeling based on previous weather patterns driven by El Nino, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, or FAO, acted swiftly to launch preparatory measures in at-risk countries.
The preemptive actions to mitigate the extreme El Nino weather events in 23 countries have protected the food security and livelihoods of over 1.6 million people. Examples of actions on the ground include the timely distribution of drought-tolerant seeds and the construction of ferrocement water harvesters in the dry corridor of Central America. It also includes riverbank breakage points in Somalia to protect cropland from expected floods and leveraging social protection programs to aid vulnerable farmers ahead of drought in the Philippines.
The evidence that we have is that anticipatory actions, including the ones implemented for this El Nino, are very beneficial in terms of protecting food security, safeguarding food production and staple crop production, in some cases allowing the population to increase crop production.
FAO assessments show that anticipatory actions are cost-effective to protect populations from shocks. However, the success of the FAO advanced actions during the current El Nino event was insufficient to avert the full scale of the crisis.
We may see increased rainfall, which can be, of course, beneficial for crop growth and agriculture. At the same time, what we fear is an excess of rainfall and flooding, which is going to impact already very vulnerable populations that don't necessarily have the means to protect themselves.
With El Nino now weakening, another seasonal climatic phenomenon causing extreme weather events, La Nina, could further exacerbate food insecurity, urging actions to better anticipate, mitigate, and be prepared to respond accordingly.
Now let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.